He's motherfucking! He's motherfucking! He's a big monkey! He thinks he's awesome!
Hey everybody, it's me, Undead Viking, here with another video review. The game I'm reviewing today is a game called Voodoo Island. Now, when I think of voodoo, I always think of the voodoo doll that guy was... Temple of Doom, Indiana Jones. He was like jabbing the thing in the guy's back, and Indiana Jones was like, ah, like that. That's what I think of when I think of voodoo. But technically, if you actually think about it for a moment, and I knew this just from bad movies and what have you, voodoo is supposedly like the religion that actually creates zombies or what have you. And so that's where this game is getting its name from, because this is technically a zombie game. Now, I know a lot of you are like, oh, another zombie game, you know, but fine, yeah, I know zombies have kind of played their route, if you will, and it's getting tougher and tougher for people to actually come up with a zombie game that isn't a retread of earlier games that came before it. But this is more of an abstract game. The premise of this is that you are this shipwreck survivor. Your boat has sprung a leak, and you have to investigate this entire little island and manage to get back to your boat, and then you can leave. I think like your family, you have to find them out on the island, but you never really like pick up people or anything like that. You just have to explore every single tile. This is a tile-laying game. Now, impeding your progress is that as you discover the island, you actually are discovering zombies as well. And the zombies are the other player. This is a two-player game. It's head-to-head. And as soon as the zombies show up, then the other player gets to start moving those zombies and trying to catch you, and they get to try to eat you. And so what happens is that one player can win if they manage to explore the entire island and make it back to their boat and they hightail it out of there. Or the other person wins if they can somehow stop that, most usually by eating the brains of the person that's moving around. Now, the game is basically, like I said, it's abstract, but this may come as a surprise to some of you, but back when I was like 12, 13, 14 years old, I was a big chess nerd. I was part of the chess club in my junior high and also my high school, and you know, I enjoyed it. I was never very good. I think I got bored with it, you know, like too quickly. I mean, I was good for like the first 15, 20 minutes. I could like set things up and everything like that. But eventually, the person I played would always like be thinking those 3 or 4 steps ahead, and I was starting to watch the clock at that point. But I liked it. I liked the whole process of it. I liked the different types of movement and things like that. And it's something that I still enjoy playing every so once in a while. You know, pretty rarely. About 1 or 2 times a year, basically. But as I explain how to play Voodoo Island, you're going to see why I'm mentioning that, because this is kind of programmed movement, and you know, you as a player, you know, you get to go in one of the cardinal directions, and you get to move, and the zombies move the same way, and things like that. There's other stuff going on, obviously, with the tile laying, and also the one player is armed with a machete. They don't get to use the machete on the zombies and chopping them down or anything like that, but they're able to alter the board a little bit as they play, and so they can kind of, you know, trap zombies and keep them, you know, make them go a long way around to get to you and that sort of thing. So the game actually, the one player is the one creating the board, but then the other player with the zombies, they get multiple players, basically multiple zombies that they get to move, and they get to, you know, they probably have the more fun job because they're the one actually chasing the person down. But let me show you exactly how to play the game, like I said, and after that, I'll come back and I'll tell you why I like the game and why I found it to be a hoot, if you will, while I played it. And then somewhere along the path here, hopefully I will impress upon you something that will make you think this is a game you want to add to your collection. And you can do that by going to the Kickstarter page for this sucker. So, alright, how to play Voodoo Island. Alright, this is the setup for Voodoo Island. You have this beach tile that you start off with that the explorer starts on. The way the explorer wins is if they manage to explore the entire island by building it by using these tiles over here. These tiles are in tiles of stacks of 5, 6, 7, and 8, and interspersed in each one of these tiles is a zombie tile that will spawn one of these zombies over here. So basically what happens is, like, at the beginning, like, obviously since there's 5 tiles and one of them is zombie, the zombies show up a little faster. And that's basically because until the zombies show up, the other player really doesn't have anything to do until they actually get to place their zombies on the game board. The explorers have the only way they can win. Well, technically there's 2 ways they can win, but the only way they can win is by exploring the entire island, meaning they've uncovered every single one of those tiles, and then making it back to this tile where their boat is, and they can escape off of the island. The zombies basically win by either preventing the hero or the explorer from moving, so they can't explore anymore, or landing on the same spot as the explorer, and then they get to eat his brains. So, the game is pretty simple. The explorer can move in any direction. Think of a queen in chess. They can move any direction as much as they want, but they are stopped when they either reach the end of a border, or they run into something that would block their path, such as a zombie or like part of the jungle. So you move, and then if you move, you have the option of placing a new tile. You don't have to. If you ever stand still, you have to place a tile. But you can't stand still if you have to be on an edge to be able to reveal a tile. So in this situation, we're here. We could reveal a tile here or here. We draw one of these, and then you get a tile that has, obviously some jungle and some beach there, and so you could place it here or here, and you can spin it around. The only thing is, when you place a new tile, you have to be able to reach it from the way that the board is set up. It doesn't necessarily have to be from this tile. You could place this tile like so if there were like tiles over here that you could walk through and eventually get to that location. There is nothing preventing you from doing that. But in this situation, since this is only the second tile, we'll go ahead and we'll place it like so. So we have this kind of blockade here. Maybe we can use that to our advantage at some point, who knows. But on our next turn, we'll move forward like that, and we'll draw another tile. And obviously a lot more jungle, and so we need to once again place it so it is accessible. And I think the only way, well, no, technically I guess you could do this, because you could go diagonal in that situation, from here to here if you wanted to. And so on we do that. So the next turn would be like that, but that would be the entire turn. And then the next turn is like so. And now, if we want to, we can reveal another tile. So we'll do so. And okay, we have a zombie tile. So what happens is, once again, you have to place this with the same rules that you already used. So we could place it like that. We could place it like this. I'm going to go like this. So the zombie, it seems like the zombie would have a little further to get to where he's going to go. And when you place the zombie, you place it on its side, like that. Now, whenever a zombie tile is revealed, you as the other player gets one of these, what's called a machete tile. The explorer gets this. And what this is they can place this during their movement to either maybe open up a location, open up more, so like you could place it like this, and opening up movement so you can like get through, like you're like cutting up the jungle. Or you can place it in such a way that maybe you would block after you move out of the location, like you do that, and you could place it like that, and it makes the zombie have to like move around it, if you will. So because the zombies get to move in any direction just like you, but they can only move a maximum of 3 spaces. And so you get to keep this, you keep it face down in front of you, you don't want the other person to know what that is able to do, and then you can go ahead and take your turn. So on the zombie turn, if the zombie's on its side, you stand it up, and that's all you get to do. The zombie gets up, and now he's going to want to chase the explorer. So once again, we have the explorer. Since we can move multiple spaces, we'll go like that. And now we know there's no zombie tiles left in here, so we don't have to worry about one showing up. So we draw one, and we can go ahead and place this there. Now the zombie player gets to go. Like I said, the zombie can move, but it can only move up to 3, and it can only move, once again, the straight line. So we can go 1, and so now the other player goes. And now this is kind of where the tactics of the game starts coming in. And so we can move there, draw another tile, Oh, a nice big open tile. I like to see that. As if I was the explorer, not the zombie player, I like to see a big open tile like that, because zombies can't move very fast, obviously, and the bigger, more open areas you have, the better off you're going to be, because you can kind of leave the zombies behind. So, the zombie on their turn can move just the one, because they block. Now we'll move like so, and we can draw a tile. Not the best, but still not bad, because we get this nice long straight line. We can have it. Now the zombie can move. Remember, they can move up to 3. So maybe we'll go here, because then if we move diagonally, we can get over into this location. It's always nice to kind of be in the center, because then you aren't limited as much, as far as where your movement is going. So as this person will go there. Now we kind of got to worry that we're going to pull another zombie tile here. Oh, no zombie tile. So I like going like this, because I can keep going straight, but I can also go that way. Now there's an interesting thing about the zombie movement right over here. Zombies can move, as I said, up to 3, but they can only enter 1 new tile per turn. And so they can't go 1, 2, because this is a new tile and this is a new tile. So all we can do with this zombie is we can go like that if we're going to go diagonally. But now at least we know which way we're going. We're chasing this guy down. And so we're going to go here. And because it's always nice to have an option to go either location. We'll draw another tile. Oh, okay. We got another zombie tile. So we have to place this in such a way that the zombie can show up. And so now we place this zombie like so. And on the zombie player's turn, they'll stand up this one. He'll move 1, 2, 3. And now we can see, we're getting a little bit constricted, so maybe we'll go that route. And once again, now we know we're safe because these are open. And ugh, that's not a really good tile at all. There's like nothing there. One way to go, really. Now, as a zombie player, you might be thinking, well, maybe it's a good idea to, you gotta have a decision. Do you want to kind of head over this way, in case this person's gonna draw a tile and place one there, but then you're letting them, just move over here and open. So it's one of those things where you kind of have to decide what's best. And so, actually, I like these decisions when they happen, because you don't really know what the next tile is going to be, and you don't really know what's going to happen. So this one, obviously, you're going to want to move the zombie there, just so you have that option. And, actually, I like going here, because I want this player to have to make up their mind as far as, do they want to move here, and they're going to get something like this, and then, not have a lot of options. Oh, and I forgot, second zombie, so we got another zombie tile, or a machete tile, I should say. And so as player, let's take a gamble. We'll go here, and we'll draw a tile. All right, this is actually a pretty good tile for the explorer, because of the fact that they can place it in such a way that it isn't very helpful at all to the zombie. We can place it like so. There's no way for them to get over there, and now we kind of have free movement. So now the zombie player goes, and they can go like 1, 2, 3, so they can head over there. And now we'll go 1, 2, like so. And now you can kind of see how the game is progressing. It's like, as the game keeps going, you have, as the explorer, you have these different options, and you're always trying to, hedge your bets, if you will, and try to make good choices. And so, in this case, we can go 1, 2, like that. And then we draw another tile, and we're going to put it there, and so on and so forth. And so, as the game progresses, what happens a lot of the time is that at the very beginning, it seems to me, as long as the explorer doesn't get hammered with some bad tile draws, the explorer tends to do pretty well right away. But as long as no massive mistakes are made. But the zombie player has numbers on their side, and they're trying to basically shepherd the player into a corner. And so then, and they can feel the noose, if you will, slowly constricting, and their options are getting less and less. And you're trying to get yourself in that situation. Now, eventually, I'm not going to obviously play out the entire game, but eventually, what will happen is all of the zombies will come out, because you've gotten through all of the tiles. And when that happens, the one last wrinkle of the game comes out of play, which is the zombie master rolls a d6 every turn. And they roll that, and on a 1 through 4, if any of their zombies are laying down, they get to stand one up. Now, how does a zombie get laying down? If you roll a 5, you have to pick a zombie to lay them down. Meaning that the next turn, like, you have to roll 1 through 4 to get them to stand up again. If you roll a 6, you flat out just lose a zombie. You have to pick one and you have to take them off. So once all 4 zombies are out, time is running short for the zombie master. They need to start going after the explorer because, if they get some bad rolls, they're going to end up losing their zombies. Also, if they get a 5 and they, like, let's say we had a situation where, this zombie's laying down, this guy's there, and you have a zombie here and a zombie there or whatever, and you roll another 5. Well, you don't want to lay one of these guys down because then that means that, like you're giving the player an extra turn to get away. You can pick a zombie that's already laying down and you with a 5 and then remove them from the board as well. So that's another way you can lose a zombie. So that's pretty much the entirety of Voodoo Island. It doesn't have a lot of rules. There's basically like 3 rules. Placing these is also important that, like, when to block paths and stuff like that. But other than that, it's just really a tile laying game with 1 die roll later on in the game, and just being smarter than the other person with your geometric movement, basically. But it is extremely challenging, and it is also it's one of those things where if you are good at plotting route-to-route movement kind of thing, where you're and chess skills, basically, this game will really appeal to you. But let me go more into what I really, really like about this game now that I've taught you how to play, and then let's just do that right now. All right, there we go. That's how you play the game of Voodoo Island. You probably can't tell this, but and this is a prototype, obviously, like I said, and you probably maybe can't see this, but these meeples are like really interesting. The ones that they included with me to be able. They either have a Roman helmet on, they're Elvis, or they have a punk haircut. I don't know what the deal is with this the top of their melon. Maybe you can see that. Can you tell that? Whatever. Anyway, so okay, so really easy to learn how to play the game, and it's one of those games that also after you can teach it to somebody in just a few minutes. The only real difficult part of the rules that I had trouble like wrapping my head around was like when you start altering the board by putting the machete tiles down. The fact that zombies, when they move from one tile to the next, they have to stop on that tile. They can't move from one tile to the next to move on another tile. It seems like it's one of those rules. Basically, these slow the zombies down, not only making the block unwalkable path for them, but also as soon as they step onto it, they have to slow down and stop, giving you that extra turn to get away. So I was a little concerned when I first read the rules for the game, because I thought, well, man, once all the zombies show up, it's just like the other person's just not going to have a shot. Sure, they're slow, they don't get to move as far, but I thought for sure that as soon as there was too many of them on the board, there just wouldn't really be anything you do. But obviously the mechanic with the die and the zombie master losing control of the zombies, it works twofold. One, it prevents that first situation where you don't, once all the zombies are there, it isn't like it's just the other person's going to lose just because they're facing too many enemies. But secondly, it prevents somebody from gaming the game. And what I mean by that is it prevents the zombie player by just saying, okay, well, we're just going to walk back and head out and we're going to stay near the ship. And you're not going to win because we're going to stay right here and you have to leave, and the only way you can leave is through us. Eventually, the zombie player is going to roll a die that's going to cause them to lose that zombie. They're going to lose control of the zombies are going to leave, and they're not going to win the game. And so they have to go after the person. And that's ingenious. I mean, obviously the first thing you're going to do is you're going to think, okay, well, I just got to be cautious with the zombies. I got to kind of pen them in. No, I mean, you need to, chase after them because eventually you're going to lose control of them. There's nothing you can do to stop that. And so it actually becomes a very tense, very tricky game, if you will. And the most important job of the person playing the survivor is the tile placement, laying them down. They have to both lay the tiles in such a way that, because they have to use the pass. I mean, they have to discover each and every tile on the board. They have to lay it down in such a way that it makes it easy for them to traverse them, but makes it difficult for the zombies. And so it becomes a very, very tight race, if you will, and a very, very tension-filled one as well. But the thing is, the game doesn't last long. Me and a person that's played it now a few times, we played it on our lunch breaks, and we can get the game done in about 15-20 minutes. And that's perfect. I mean, that's exactly what I want from a game like this. There isn't a lot of, really analysis paralysis at all. There's some routing, that you kind of go through your mind. If I go here, if the zombie moves there, can I get here? Will I be able to get there? Kind of thing. And there's a little bit of luck, with the how often the zombie tiles show up, and plus the die roll. But most of that is mitigated just by smart play, and ultimately it's like it's a really even game. I mean, like I said, the zombies have their numbers, but you have higher mobility as other player, and it balances out really well. And plus the thing is that the player, that's the survivor, can't just rest on their laurels either. They have to investigate every single tile to win the game, and so they can't just kind of meander about, if you will, waiting for like the zombies to like move out of the way or anything like that. They have to keep always exploring, always trying to propel the game forward and try to win, if you will. So I've had this kind of rebirth of two-player games lately. I've really enjoyed it, and I've really enjoyed the heck out of playing this, even though, as a lot of people would say, even though it was zombie-themed, because, the case can be made that zombie-themed games are kind of getting a little repetitious at this point. But regardless to the theme, the game is highly challenging. It's a lot of fun, and if you're a big fan of two-player games, and two-player, like, really portable games, I think this is something you're going to want to pick up, because it fills that niche perfectly. So, if you have any questions or concerns about the game, by all means post those. I'll answer those to the best of my ability. As always, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, so thank you very much for that. And until next time, this was me, Untitled Viking, telling you to have yourself an awesome day. Alright, goodbye now.